That may just work. Feels pretty dang hard. So that I got this 3/4 inch crushed river rock to set the containers on. My thinking for it was that it would let water drain through really easy, wouldn't hold moisture, and that way the floor in the container would last a lot longer. It's going to last a long time anyway, but I think doing that would help it last even longer. So I got this, and what I'd read was any crushed aggregates that have a whole bunch of different sizes together, and as long as they have jagged edges, they should eventually pack down and kind of lock in together. So that's why I got the roller packer, to kind of do that. But it's just not getting it packed down enough for a forklift to drive on it. And that's probably the number one thing I need, is for a forklift to be able to drive on it, because I need to drive out here and put stuff in and get stuff out of the container. So since this isn't working like I thought, I guess the next thing will be, my thinking now is to get a really fine aggregate to put a thin layer on top, and my thinking is it'll kind of fill the voids in there and keep it from shifting, and hopefully the forklift won't fall through. Because the thing with the forklift is they put all their weight in such a small area that it just digs in and falls through the gravel and gets stuck. So that's my next course of action, going to the quarry to look at materials. Well, back from the pit, and I think we got a change of plans. Talked to some of the guys up there and asked them if they had any advice that they would give me for my situation I got going on, and I think the best thing I can do, and they agreed, was wherever I'm going to be driving with the forklift, to just scoop all that rock up and go back with crushed concrete base. I've used it in some other places, and it did work good. It'll pack down, and with some water it should set up a little bit. The only thing I don't like about it is it's recycled concrete, so it's going to have metal in it like wire mesh and rebar and stuff that'll give you a flat. But maybe I can run a magnet and take care of that. But I can leave all the gravel where the container's set and stuff. That'll still serve the purpose that I wanted of draining water good. But everywhere that I'll be driving the forklift, like right here going into the containers, then I'm going to scoop that up and replace it. So I'm going to get that done today, and they should be bringing me a load of the new material in the morning. So that's where we stand. Well, I hope y'all can hear me. It's another windy day. But as y'all just saw, we got the crushed concrete delivered. And hopefully y'all can tell, but this has a lot more fines in it. Like Kind of looks like dirt. But that should help to, hopefully that'll kind of set up and hold everything in place, unlike the other gravel that I had that was just pure rock. I think it was a little too smooth to hold together real well. But this is crushed concrete, or some people call it recycled concrete. I think they take, like all the concrete from any demolition project or construction like that, and they'll crush it up into this so it can be reused. And I've used it on a driveway before, and I think it's turned out pretty well, especially after it gets rained on. But I don't know when the next time that'll happen, so I got my garden hose out here and I'm going to wet it down best I can, and then use the roller packer on it, and we'll see how it turns out. Well, got everything packed down, and I think this is going to work pretty good. I think I'm going to call this a success. If y'all remember before, this was all pretty loose. Now, pretty dang hard. I think that's going to hold the forklift up just fine. I wish I would have done that in the first place, but live and you learn, I guess. I don't have a time machine, so I can't go back and redo it. But I was able to, the gravel that was here that I scooped up, my driveway to the house needed a little attention, so I just spread it over there. So that helped out. This little road here, I didn't, kind of running the test, I didn't wet it before I packed it. And I did bring the forklift out here to do a little test driving, and it held up just fine, but you can see that little track there. And it made more of a track on the stuff that I didn't wet beforehand. So I think maybe later I might come back and use the forklift to drive back and forth and pack it down maybe. But pretty happy with the crushed concrete. Like I mentioned earlier, the one downside is you will get a little trash and stuff in there, like wire mesh and rebar, and I found some other trash out here, like a little bit of insulated copper wire and stuff like that. But on the other hand, it is a lot cheaper compared to the gravel that I had. I think it was about, I can't remember the exact figures, but I think it was about half the cost. So you gotta weigh that out. But I do like the gravel where I put it under the containers. It is serving the purpose I wanted it to there. So happy with that. Happy with both of them, I think. I think it's gonna work real good. Got the old Nelson water tractor out here running to help me water this in better. My plan is to try to get this pretty wet and then let it dry out over time, and hopefully it'll set up like concrete. Not new concrete, but hopefully somewhat close. Hopefully it'll just get pretty hard. That's what I'm hoping. But here's the two containers I've been doing all this work for. These are in very good shape. They're one trip, so to me that means they're basically brand new. This one's only got a couple scratches. There's some others on the other side and a little bit of rust from where they picked it up, but pretty much brand new. Floor, excellent condition. And that's why I put the gravel down underneath them, was to help drain the water real fast so there wouldn't be any moisture holding underneath the container and maybe helping degrade the floor any faster than it normally would. And like I mentioned at the beginning, these floor will last a long time on its own, whether if you just put it in the dirt, you know, it still lasts a long time. But I like to do what I can to give things as long a life as possible. So I was kind of on the fence about buying the higher one trip containers, but when I went to the yard to look at them, they had a bunch of these in a row. The first thing, I really liked the beige color. The first thing I thought about was that would really keep the heat down inside in the summertime, and they really blend in nice with our dead landscape right now, unfortunately. But yeah, the fact that they do really blend in appealed to me, because I didn't want to put something out here that was really going to stick out like a sore thumb. So that and the quality of them sold me. So I'm going to use these containers to store a bunch of bee equipment, whether it be boxes or feeders, or I mean, you name it. Anything that'll go in here, I'm going to put it in there just to keep it out of the weather and out of the sun, stuff like that, so it won't get degraded quite so fast. And I got something special going in that space over there. That's going to be its own separate video. I'm pretty excited about what's going there. What's going there is going to be, it's going to come in pretty handy. And another video is going to be about me making a ramp to go up into these shipping containers, because with that height right there, there's no way I can get a forklift in there. And I thought about using the gravel as a ramp, but then it always gets in the way of the closing mechanism down there. So I didn't like that. So I'm gonna make me a metal ramp. Hopefully I'm making it heavy enough to hold the forklift in a load, but we're gonna see. So that'll be another video. Don't know if it'll be the next one or in the future, but that's what I got planned. So if y'all stuck around to the very end, thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next one.